So last week we did a polymerase chain reaction to amplify a piece of DNA on the 16th chromosome. And we were amplifying a piece that may or may not include one of these ALU inserts. So shown on the diagram here, this would be an insert of about 300 base pairs or so, and it would influence the length of the piece of DNA that would be made. So the primers are the same in all of these individuals, and the locations on the DNA where the primers would anneal is the same, regardless of whether you have the ALU insert or not. If you have the insert, it's just the distance between those is longer. So the distance between them, if there's no insert, that's what's shown here. The distance between them with no insert is a little over 400 base pairs. The distance between them with the ALU insert is the normal 400 plus this 300 and something, gets us about 700 base pairs. So it should be a substantially larger piece of DNA if there's an ALU insert in there. These are colored as to whether they are copies from the father or the mother. We wouldn't be able to tell the difference, but we would be able to tell potentially if there are two kinds of lengths in here. So what's shown here, this is two pieces, two chromosomes, one from mom, one from dad, and they both have the ALU insert. So this would be a long piece and a long piece. They would be the same length, so they would basically lie on top of each other. We wouldn't be able to tell the difference between them in a PCR reaction or the results from that. So this example here, this is what's shown down here in B. This is all one kind of DNA. So there's only one band in the D lane, and it's coming out at a length between 600 and 800 base pairs. So roughly where we expect that piece to lie if it has the ALU insert. Now, if you had two kinds, that's what's being shown here, you would have a long piece and a short piece. And that would happen either if you had the insert on dad's chromosome and not on mom's chromosome, or if you had the insert on mom's chromosome and not on dad's chromosome. Again, this doesn't differentiate between father or mother chromosome. Just knows that you have two kinds, one of each kind. So this is the long piece. This would be made, and it would go to a different distance than the short piece would go to the distance in this 400 base pair range roughly. So the C individual, that would be this individual here with a kind of copy that's long and a kind of copy that's short. And then finally, the version with nobody having any inserts, that would be short and short, two of the same size, both about 400 base pairs. That's what's shown here in D. So we should be able to tell, using our PCR reaction results, whether we've got only long pieces that have the ALU insert, only short pieces that have no ALU insert, or one of each. Now I showed you the gel, and we didn't talk too much about what that shows. What the gel shows is this process of using electricity and an electrical gradient to push pieces of DNA down through this matrix here. And we would load them at the top, as I showed you in the video previously. Load them at the top and attach electrical current to this and zap them as they head farther away. Things that move farther faster are these smaller pieces. So this 200 base pair piece here would be the smallest piece of the ladder. Sorry, I've lost my standards on here. So let's say that's 200, 400, 600, 800. This distance would be about that 400 base pair distance. The smaller piece is running farther. The bigger piece is running less far. So they've all started from the top and run to a point. The little pieces run farther than the big pieces. What's shown here for the labels are negative control, positive control. Negative control, if things worked out well, nothing should be made as a product there. So this is one way to test if we have DNA contamination in anything. If we were contaminated, we might show a product here, but there's no product, that's a good sign. Positive control, you can use really any kind of positive control. It should be some kind of signal that you know to expect. So in this case, we're doing a positive control where we know to expect the piece that does not have the insert here. And then our various genotypes. So 2 copies of the insert, 2 bigger pieces of DNA, 1 big piece, 1 little piece, and then 2 little pieces. And then these correspond to the genotypes that we're going to be using moving forward as we look at these and investigate whether the population of data that we get could have been achieved under Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium.